Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I made this vegan lasagna. It was pretty easy to make. So in this saucepan I had browned up 2 Impossible beef patties, and to it I'm adding what was left of this jar, which was about 1/4 of the jar left. I didn't think that would be enough sauce, so I went ahead and added a half of a smaller jar just to make sure I had enough sauce. And then in a medium saucepan, I heated up a tablespoon of butter, plant-based butter that is, of course. Just want to let you guys know, while I was doing all this, I was also cooking up about 9 lasagna noodles. So to that butter, I did add a tablespoon of flour. We're going to whisk that to combine. It's going to make a little liquidy paste. You're going to want to cook that down for a couple minutes to get that flour cooked out a bit. And then once you have cooked that out a little bit, you're going to add in a cup of plant-based milk. I did use oat milk, but you can use whatever plant-based milk that you want. Now you're going to want to add this in slowly or in batches like I did. So I put in about half of it, give that a good stir, and then added the other half. Now you want to do this so that you get a nice smooth sauce instead of a lumpy sauce. So after I got the oat milk in there, I did add some garlic powder and some onion powder and some salt and pepper. And then after I added all that, I did give it a nice good whisk, and I let this heat up and get nice and thick and bubbly. So once that gets all nice and thick, you're going to want to add a cup of plant-based cheese. I did use Daya or Daya, however you say it now. It melted down and kind of turned a little lumpy and a little bit thicker than I wanted, which I didn't think it was going to work out, but it actually did turn out fine. To add, sorry guys, in order to thin it down a bit, I did add a little bit more oat milk into it just to try to get the consistency a little bit better. It still was kind of gloopy, but I think that's just the Daiya cheese in general, but it worked out in the end. And so once that was all done, I started to assemble the lasagna. So I used about 1/4 to a half cup of the sauce I didn't put in the meat sauce to have a thin layer of sauce. And then to that, or I should say on top of that, I added, on the bottom layer I used 2. I should have just used 3 noodles, but I did kind of tear it and make it fit. Okay, so once I had that layer of noodles down, I did add about 1/3 of that meat mixture, and I spread it all around, making sure that it was a nice even layer. Alright, so right on top of the meat mixture, you're going to add 1/3 of the bechamel cheese mixture sauce. You're going to spread that around, making sure that is nice and even. And then on top of that, you're going to add some more lasagna noodles. I decided just to go ahead and use the three lasagna noodles instead of just 2. It just kind of made everything fit better. And then on top of that, you're going to add another 1/3 of meat sauce, another 1/3 of the white sauce, and then another layer of noodles, another and then the rest of the meat sauce and the rest of the bechamel sauce. So you're going to end up with the final layer being the bechamel sauce. Okay, so like I said, once that is all nice and spread evenly on top, you're going to want to bake this in the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes or a little bit more, depending on how brown you want your cheese on top. And then this is the final product. Now with lasagna, you're going to want to let it rest for at least 20 minutes before you cut into it. This is what it looked like after it was cut. Didn't quite let it sit for as long as I should, but it was very, very delicious.